Today, we're talking offensive play design from the air raid system, which is so simple and elegant, it's almost beautiful. Inside the mind of Mike Leach right now. Hey, everybody, welcome to Elite Athletes TV. I'm Mike Pulaski, former 11-year pro quarterback and quarterbacks coach here at EliteAthletesTV.com. Today, I want to bring you more play design. As you guys know, I love drawing up plays, and I want to take a look at the air raid system. We're going inside the brain of Mike Leach today, which is a thoroughly entertaining and educational trip to take. As many of you know, Mike Leach is a buddy of mine. We spent time together in New Zealand on 10 days, going on the hunt of a lifetime down there. And we also got to visit the All Blacks while we were down there because of Mike's connections. I've also gotten to watch a ton of game film on the air raid system, and I have grown to love the simplicity and the efficiency of the air raid, if I could put that correctly. Giving receivers options, giving the quarterbacks freedom to play within the game and within the framework that you've designed, I think is an amazing thing in the air raid. Now, a ton of it's about reps and it's about play design, it's about spreading the field. And when we had our discussion down in New Zealand, Coach Leach was telling me that it's all about getting the balls into the athlete's hands with space. Originally, many of you may not know, Coach Leach and Hal Mummy designed the air raid system together based on the wishbone, where you're trying to out-leverage somebody and get the ball into the hands of your athletes with space to roam, and a lot on what Lavelle Edwards was doing up at BYU at the time, because BYU had a great spread passing game. And so some of those things came together to create this system that is incredibly simple. If you ever watch Coach Leach on the sideline, you see he has literally almost a cocktail napkin in his hands, and those are all of his plays. That has a ton of options in it to get open and allows receivers the freedom to find open space. As a result, that offense has been incredibly prolific. And every year, or almost every year, Mike Leach leads the nation in passing yardage, total offense through the air. And so it's because the air raid system is really elegant in the way that it's built. And so today we're going to talk about one of his plays. I'm going to take you inside his mind. Remember, if you haven't done it yet, if you love football content, you love talking to X's and O's, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell. That way you get notified every time we have new content coming out. Give us a thumbs up if you're ready to talk about the Pirate, Mike Leach, and one of his plays. And leave us a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. This play concept beats a ton of different coverages, which are the plays that I love bringing to you. And I'm going to show you how some NFL systems have used a version of it. Probably not the same exact version because they're not built within that air raid system. But I'll show you it out of the playbook, out of the Denver Broncos offense. I will show you how Mike Leach runs it and kind of the freedoms he gives his receivers and why it's devastatingly simple and efficient. Let's take a look at the playbook. So one of the things that NFL offenses love to do is they love to take a simple concept and make it as complicated as possible with 47 different versions. The play we're looking at today is this play right up top. It's what they're calling dice left strong, boulder, 66 boulder left. And what we're going to see on film is this version of it. You'll see the go route on the outside. You'll see the climb route by the number 2 receiver to the far side. And rather than seeing the dagger concept here, or the deep over, you're going to see a hook on the backside. The way that it's designed in the NFL, obviously all these guys are running these plays, or running these routes, you're getting the shallow from the Y and the swing from the H. What you get from this play, if you look at it, and I've talked about this before, is you get that 5 dice with the back hitting the flat look, with the over, with the deep over, and then this shallow coming back. You're getting that 5 dice look. Incredibly difficult to cover, especially in zone coverage. Here, you don't see a lot of adjustments in this play. In Leach's play, this ball can be a go route, or if the receiver doesn't win, he can fall off like a comeback, or the quarterback can back shoulder him with a ball if he feels he's got a good back shoulder shot. The climb or over route can be a true climb or over. I would guess it has the ability to sit down if they get into space behind linebackers and they see a hole, or if you get two high safeties, it could also take the middle of the field, which creates a 2-on-1 on that safety on the hash side, on the short side of the field. The hook on the backside is great versus zone, because if you get the go route and it's covered, you don't like it as a quarterback, and the over route and you don't like it, that means everything is washed across with it, or the backers have taken it away, which leaves this backside hook completely uncovered. And then you can always check down. What I like about this play is it gives you a very simple eye progression. I'm going to check it here as a full field read. 1, if I don't love it, I'm going to check my climb route for number 2. I'm going to check, in Leach's case, the hook on the backside, but here it would be that deep over, the dagger concept there. And then number 4, you can check down to your flat. So your quarterback's eyes are taking this natural arc in his progression, and he can get through it in about 3 hitches, and he will have some place to go with the ball versus zone in that time. Now you can see there are several other versions of it versus different coverages. They want to get just the right play for just the right coverage. But because Leach's offense is so, as I said, elegant, they allow the receivers to make decisions based on the coverage they read. And in that, you'll create open spaces for those receivers, and the quarterbacks rep it so much that they know what those reads are going to be. Now let's take a look at the same play on film. So here we go. 2 by 1, you're going to see 2 receivers into the boundary, 1 to the field. Running this to the wide field. Safety helping over the top. You can see this safety looking like it's manned, corner looking like it's manned, corner definitely looking like it's manned down here. You're going to get the go route by the field receiver and the climb route by the number 2 into the boundary. But when he sees this safety vacate the middle, he's going to take this vertically. Backside, because he has man, remember we talked about it, this route will change versus man and zone, is going to run the deep over. The backs are going to escape and get wide, and you end up with that 5 dice look on the field. Now this seam route is going to pop wide open. Quarterback, in going through his progression, should be 1, 2, 3, 4 on his check down. But he misses this read in the middle. Just because this play is so elegant and beautiful doesn't mean the quarterback is always going to make your read. So let's take a look at it one time through here, and we'll talk through it. Quarterback's eyes are left, comes to the middle, but he comes to the middle and comes off of it and checks down to the back in the flat. Gets a 2-yard gain, but it could very well have been a touchdown here. Again, let's take a look through it one time real quick. You can see the receiver going through the middle, not super happy, because this was definitely a touchdown waiting to happen. Again, go route here, holds this safety. When he sees the middle open, this receiver takes the middle of the field. Dig route. And the beauty of this play is this opens wide up. This safety is really in a bind. If he honors the go route right here, then this backside seam pops. Even though this safety looks like he's man over the top, he still has to run and try to cover this seam from behind. So it's kind of a runaway route in that regard, and the quarterback has a ton of field in here to work with. If neither one of those are open, now you get a runaway versus man, and number 2 has already cleared the middle of the field. So it's really solid versus man, really solid versus zone. In this case, they get a receiver open and miss it. Let's run it through in slow motion here. Quarterback's eyes are to the left, and he gets over to the middle a little bit early. So this guy, right now, to him, doesn't feel open because the safety's over the top, but you can see the safety is looking to the outside. So the quarterback's there a little bit too early. I would coach it, keep your eyes on this until we hit our full drop. And part of the issue, if we run this back for just a second, is the quarterback doesn't take a full 3-step drop. He takes a hop. 1 and a hop, thinking throwing the fade, but the safety is helping over the top. And so he's ready too early. You've got to take that full drop to time this out. Then if I don't love the go route, my eyes come back inside as this guy breaks into that open space. So a little bit quick in our drop as a quarterback down in the red zone, feeling like it's going to have to happen in a hurry. And it gets him through number 2 when this was the winner. And then number 3, as he comes across, is kind of running into the safety, so he doesn't like that and ends up with the back on the swing. You see him miss that middle read, hits the back on the swing, only gets a couple yards, but the full field read is beautiful. Let's take a look at it from behind. Now watch the quarterback's eyes. As he comes out, eyes to the outside. What that does is it pulls this safety to the field. So the safety follows his eyes. So that's the way you have to teach this. Look to that go route first and stay there. Because his drop is so shallow, he doesn't quite get enough depth. By the time he comes back in for number 2 is right there, he feels like it hasn't cleared that backer, and there's another safety who's inside. But you're going to see number 2 come into your screen with nobody on him. So there's number 2. If you just throw that hole shot right there, that's a touchdown. But he comes off this. He's already in the midst of coming off of this route. And so then his eyes swing to the outside to the dig. It's not there. And then he gets to the check down. So got through this route a little bit fast. So only got a couple yards on it. But you can see how this route would open up. Now let's draw it versus cover 2, and it's going to look very much the same. If this safety is back in cover 2, now we're in the red zone, but let's think about it in the middle of the field. As we release outside, you're going to hold this safety. This receiver has the option now of running a full climb route across to green grass on this side, or he can then bend it into that middle seam if this safety stays wide. Remember, you have a vertical route coming at this safety from outside as well. And if it's zone, this is going to hook up and sit down. The other option is if this receiver feels like he can't get across, let's say a nickel Sam flew out and he's underneath it, this receiver can shut it down in the middle too. So now you'd get a go, a sit down on the middle read, and a crosser from the backside, or in zone, a hook. So now it looks like a couple of different plays, but it's all from the same exact play call. And then with these guys swinging, again, you get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice look. And so really hard to defend. Watch it one time clear through. If the quarterback takes a little bit more time in his drop, he's got the seam read for the touchdown. As you know, I love bringing you guys plays that work against all kinds of coverage. And this simple play works against 1, you get the runaways versus man. It works against 3, if you get the go route. On the outside, if you like it, you can hit the go route. You can hit the back shoulder on the go route if you want to, fade him out away from coverage. And then versus 3, that climb route comes across into open space, or he can hook it up in between the backers, and then the hook on the backside, always clean, finally with a check down. It's a nice way to get your quarterback a full field read, a great progression with his eyes, and he's just going to go through, look for the go route on his drop. If it's not there at the top of his drop, I come inside for number 2. If I don't love that, I come back to my hook route for number 3, and then I just keep working across the field for my check down to the back. You saw him get through all 4 receivers. He just got through it a little bit quick in his progression and missed the touchdown. But don't let that dissuade you from installing this play in your playbook. It is a fantastic play. It beats a ton of coverages. And, of course, I'm a huge fan. You can see I'm wearing my Mississippi State hat here. One of my quarterbacks just went on a recruiting trip down there, and he deserves it. Fantastic quarterback. But I'm a huge fan of the Pirate, Mike Leach. Fantastic coach. Does great things on offense. That's why he leads the nation every year, is in one of the top leaderboards in terms of passing. His system is beautiful and elegant and simple, which oftentimes is the best way to go. Don't forget, if you haven't done it, subscribe, ring that bell, and give us a thumbs up. If you love this play, if you love watching the Pirate or the air raid, give me that thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Just wanted to take you inside the mind of Mike Leach and why his offense is so fantastic. Show you a little air raid system, air raid read, and give you some offensive scheme to work with. Helping your quarterback and helping train your quarterback will make him a better player at the position.